Okay, we've had a little bit of a technical glitch, so this is going to be part 2 of Module 2, and for purposes of continuity, I'm going to pick back up on page 47, even if there's a slight overlap. The rationale for avoidance of multiple relationships on 47 and 48 are as follows. Former clients may need to return to therapy. If you've decided to date them or become friends with them or supervise them, entangled in other types of relationship, the water becomes severely muddied if they want to come back and see you clinically. Many clients have a high degree of vulnerability. They have developed very strong feelings of transference about their clients, and sometimes we have developed very strong feelings of countertransference. Sometimes we have to go to court 2 or 3 years after the fact, bringing records, and have to answer very sticky questions by the opposing attorney of what exactly our relationship was, is, and has remained. Lots of clear theoretical reasons for assuming that recipients of client services should be able to trust that their counselor will remain objective and clinical. Hard to do if there are multiple relationship entanglements. It's a poor modeling process, a poor example of role modeling for your clients when we are counseling them around clear relationships in their own lives if we can't demonstrate that in our relationships. And what do you do when the relationship goes bad and we find ourselves, particularly if you've married a former client, in court with that client seeking a divorce and trying to explain those things. Sexual or non-sexual relationships are equally to be avoided in that particular situation. Rural communities, small towns are a little different as far as maintaining those boundaries among multiple relationships. It's possible that they can't always be avoided without referring your client out to a counselor that's 2 hours or more away. If you're the only counselor in 200 square miles, we have to set clear boundaries and maintain those boundary crossings without allowing them to morph into boundary violations in order to provide services. Looking at page 53 to 55 and looking at Gottlieb's ethical decision-making model. Again, on your online classroom, some decision-making models will be posted, some articles will be posted. So, Gottlieb, 1993, specifically was designed to address the issues of multiple relationships. And he has 7 assumptions. 1, the model applies to all aspects of professional work with clients, students, supervisee. The goal of avoiding multiple relationships, although aspirational, is sometimes unrealistic, depending on circumstances. All multiple relationships should be evaluated for potential harm, for inherent risk. Even if they all are not exploitative in nature, maybe some are beneficial, the potential for harm exists, therefore must be avoided. The model is intended to increase therapists' awareness of relevant issues and recommendations before adding new relationships or taking course of actions. The dilemmas addressed in the model are there to help clients practice ethical decision-making, good ethical decision-making processes in these types of dilemmas. And finally, looking at the dimensions of the model to take the perspective from the point of view of the client, which is where we have to be anyway. Within 3 critical dimensions are power, duration of the relationship, and clarity of the relationship. How much power do you have over that client? How long is this relationship going to last, and what is this relationship supposed to be accomplishing? Page 54, there's a graphic dimension for ethical decision-making model according to Gottlieb's model, and it's there for your benefit as you work toward your case analyses. Finally, looking at 6 specific boundaries that clinicians should consider when contemplating beginning a multiple relationship to be able to analyze those boundaries. The first one is time limits. How does this reflect, how does this impact my client? Place and space. Where is this happening? How is it happening? The aspect of money. How much am I getting paid? Anytime money's changing hands, there is a power differential. If you're paying me to provide services, there's an obvious power differential. If I can sign my name for you to receive certain benefits, there's a power differential. If I have the power to act as a gatekeeper, to act as someone who can recommend future services for you or your family through mandated systems of the court, the power differential exists and cannot be denied. Gifts and favors, typically the ethics code allow for small gifts. They do not put a dollar figure. It's usually understood to be somewhere between $25 and $50. If a client brings you a poinsettia at Christmas time, a box of cookies, a book they enjoyed, a potted plant, different things. If those things are going to turn your ethics were not very strong to begin with. But if you're looking at things that have inherent value, those things have to be clearly but graciously refused, and the reasons for those things explained to the client. It's something as simple as, I'm sorry, it's a lovely idea, but I can't accept it. The ethics codes don't require that I not be able to accept this. I appreciate the fact that you thought of me, that your heart was in it, but it's just not something that I can do based on the type of profession that I'm in. If you look at Gabbard and Gabbard 93, you monitor for risk management in your language, in your self-disclosure, in physical contact. The last boundary is physical contact. Every clinician has to decide where they're at with handshaking, with hugging, with any kind of physical contact. It's important to remember that our clients often have not been the recipients of positive, healthy physical contact, that there's sexual or physical abuse, and those things can be very easily misunderstood. So as you go through the course and you begin to rationalize what type of model you're going to practice from, be sure that you've examined your own intent, your own countertransference issues, your own unfinished business, and that the rights and privileges of your clients are foremost in your mind as each decision is made. Good luck with this week. We'll see you again next week. Good luck.